So, simple ways. All right, awesome. So, there's this guy named Trenderhoof, and he comes to Ponyville from Manhattan, and as he comes to Ponyville, like, he's like super hot, I guess. I don't know. And so, like, Rarity like has like this huge crush on him, and and so she's like trying to win him over when he comes into town, because she cares way too much. She's got to care, but she can't care that much. And so because of that, she's like, so following him everywhere and trying to do everything with him and just just be the best ever. And then Trenderhoof, he comes over to the Apple Farm and he sees Applejack and he just like falls in love super fast or something. And he cares so much about Applejack. The problem is he cares, but he just cares too much. And so he like follows Applejack everywhere while Rarity follows him everywhere. And so Applejack is like not into this guy whatsoever, even though he is like starstruck by her apparently. And so, long story short, she just basically keeps ignoring him while he keeps like following everything she does, which makes him look like an idiot. But nonetheless, Rarity still has like this ridiculously huge crush on him. So just a little interesting situation here. And so what happens is Rarity, she decides that because she cares way too much about this, and she's not willing to back away. She's not willing to walk away. She's not willing to take pigtails and just let it happen the way it needs to happen. She decides that she's going to mimic Applejack and change who she is at the fundamental core level to try to satisfy someone else. This is just like freaking ridiculous. I remember so long ago. I mean, I used to be like a total loser, and I had like no friends ever. And like I would try the same thing, right? Like I would try to act cool or act like someone I wasn't. It's just like ridiculously stupid basic advice. Like you just have to be you, because in the short term, maybe you can have a gain, a marginal gain or marginal increase in the perception of yourself or your status or your figure. But in the long term, there's like no freaking way these relationships will last, right? It fades away because it's not true to yourself. It's not true to who you are. And if you can't stay true to yourself, you can't be all you 100%, then it's just not going to work no matter what social skills you have. It just doesn't matter. It's got to be legitimate. It's got to be genuine. And so as Rarity, basically what she does is she starts dressing up like Applejack, and living on a farm and like wearing hats and getting dirty and muddy and like just doing everything that she would never do on her own for the sole purpose of trying to win over this one guy, which is just like ridiculously stupid and crazy. And like it doesn't work like at all. And Spike sees this going on and he's like, dude, are you serious? What are you doing? And he's like, I don't know, he's kind of like, I don't know what the ages difference is, but like, it's weird because like he like helps her get dressed up and do all this crap out of like a sheer awkwardness of trying to support his friends and support those relationships because he cares about Rarity, right? But what she's doing is just like detrimental to herself, and she looks like a total idiot. And to kind of point out how silly she looks, Applejack gets in like a dress and like does her hair in braids and like makes herself all pretty like Rarity usually is, and like mocks what she's doing like openly. And it doesn't really hurt the relationship at all. But like Trenderhoof still is like ridiculously in love with her, which is so weird. And so like even as Rarity tries all this dumb stuff and Applejack tries all this dumb stuff, they're just like foiling back and forth against each other, but they're not actually having any significant impact on themselves or on what they're doing. They're just kind of like being crazy. And so like because of that, all of a sudden you get to this point where there's like nothing left to do, and the two of them like they just like look ridiculous. And they look ridiculous because they're out of their element, right? So if this is like where they normally are, and this is how they normally function, this is what they normally do, what they've done is they've basically gone like way over here off the deep end for the sole purpose of trying to get the attention of someone else, trying to get a feeling of significance from this new guy in town, so that they can like have the friend that they want or whatever, right? Which is just like stupid, right? And they're going like way too hard into it. They care way too much. Remember, you got to care, but not that much. This is pretty much like what can happen when you start to obsess over things. You start to freak out. You start to get clingy. It's just stupid how much these guys follow this guy for like no reason, and it makes them look like ridiculously desperate and crazy. And because of that, it crushes really like any chances they had at forming a quality, fundamentals-based relationship. Right? They've got to build this foundation solid before they build the building on top of it. And what they've done is they've basically like taken a bunch of like sticks and twigs and yarn, and they've built their entire building foundation out of that. And so it is just ridiculously poorly built and unstable as heck. And so because of that, there is no way that they can build a solid, quality, long-term relationship with this guy, because it's founded on junk, which is it's crazy. It sucks. And so that's kind of the principle here. Like you've got to stay yourself. I mean, it's like so cliche, but you must be yourself, Like in any situation, it is 10 times harder to try to fake it, or like try to be something that you're not, like socially, right? Like there's this idea of like, oh, but fake it till you make it. And that's totally true. But when you fake it till you make it, it's got to be an internal drive. There's a difference between, some external drive, like you want to attract the attention of somebody and get a feeling of significance of somebody, versus, internally thinking, wow, I really want to do X, Y, Z. Like with Rarity, she wasn't always making dresses, right? So when she started, she was inspired by beautiful gems and said, you know what, I'm going to make dresses. I'm going to fake it till I make it. I'm going to be the coolest dressmaker ever, and I'm just going to start making dresses. And then she just started doing it. And after she started doing it, she started having massive success. She started to have a ton of growth in her career, and she figured out that she was going to spend her whole life doing that. Now that was an internal drive. That was an internal motive. That was an internal fake it. And that's totally cool, because that's how you get to new heights of achievement and start your working towards new paths and doing new things. But with Trenderhoof, you can't just fake it for someone else, It's not genuine. It's not organic. It's not you. In the instant that you sacrifice what should be your passions and your desires, and she literally changes her entire lifestyle in the span of 48 hours for this guy, just so that she thinks he'll like it. But it doesn't work, because it's not real. It's not her. And there is no freaking way that it's going to last, even if it works, which is why it doesn't. Fades away. He leaves town distraught because Applejack won't, marry. I don't know what he wants Applejack to do, but Applejack won't go out with him, so he's super upset, and he goes around sad. And then Rarity's like, oh my gosh, you're crazy. But what do they have to do? They have to move on, figure it out. There's 10 bajillion people, and it's not a big deal. You can't care that much about a very, very small percentage of what's out there. It's just not a big deal. And for them, that's what they have to learn here, and that's what they have to accept, is that it's more important to stay true to the one most important person on the planet, which is themselves, which is you, than it is to try to do some crap for other people, because other people aren't going to be where you are in 70, 40, how many years, most likely, right? It's all you, and you have to focus on the most important person. Focus on number one. Oh, this one's so fun. Okay, so Philly Vanilli. Big Mac is, there's this band apparently, so they're doing this a cappella band where everybody just sings, and they have an amazing time. And just to kind of introduce it, so at the beginning of this episode, Fluttershy was singing to her birds, she was singing to her pets, and she was just beautiful. And so Rarity kind of walks in and hears her singing, and she's super shy, right? So she doesn't really want to sing with other people, and if she does it with the people or the pets that she loves or the animals that she loves, she's super excited about it, but she doesn't really want other people around her, right? And so as Rarity hears this and she says, wow, you're really, really, really good, there starts to be this disconnect where it's yeah, but I don't really want to perform in front of people. That's just not what I want to do. And so she totally accepts that, and she accepts her for who she is, and says, okay, gotcha, 100%. I understand, even though she really, really loves singing, she just isn't really able to do it with other people. It's just super, super scary for her, which is totally understandable, right? And so she takes this and she moves into the whole next part of what she's doing, right? And so back in Ponyville, there's this band that they're doing, right? There's this quartet, and everyone's on stage, they're singing, they're having a great time, and they're doing stuff for charity. It's really, really, really great work. The only problem is there's like some new ponies doing it, and then there's also Big Mac, right? So with Big Mac, he's playing really, really hard one night with them, and he like loses his voice, which sucks, right? And so Rarity sees this and says, okay, well, what can we do here? You know, how can I help you? And so like Fluttershy, she really great at singing. She has like this super great charisma. And so they go to Zakor, and Zakor gives them like this potion to make her have like this super deep voice, so that she sounds like really cool. And so like she takes that, and then she figures like she doesn't want to be on stage though. So what she does is she like goes behind the stage and hides behind a curtain, and then she'll like sing in her super deep voice for Big Mac while they perform. And they do this for like tons of performances. While Big Mac looks like he's doing it in public, and the whole group gets the recognition that comes from Fluttershy just doing these backup vocals in the back for him. And we'll see the video real quick of that going on.
Listen carefully, on every corner there's a rhythm playing, then it happens suddenly, the music
Who wouldn't want to disappoint the school police?
Find the music, deep down in your heart, you can find it. Oh yeah, got the music,
Woohoo! Oh, that's so good. All right, awesome. So you can see like how it works, right? So she's just like doing it for him, and it works, right? It works for a very, very long time. It's awesome. And she has an amazing time. She loves the singing. She just doesn't like the attention. And so like she's just having a great time. And Big Mac's, he's a little bit worried because he's not actually singing, but he's totally cool with it. And he's like, Fluttershy's doing an amazing job, and they do great, right? And they're going to so many fun places as a group, as a team, to get it done. And they absolutely crush it for a super long time, until they have a little bit of a challenge. And that challenge, it comes kind of midway through here when they're at this one concert, and it's this huge concert. There are tons of people, or ponies or whatever, in the crowd, and there's just everyone's loving them because they're doing an amazing job with their music. They're doing a great time. And Fluttershy's like in the back, she's dancing around, she's having a huge party, she's going everywhere, she's doing amazing things. And she sort of comes back down at the end of the performance, and she like knocks a railing on the stage, and the whole curtain falls down in front of everyone in front of her. And then it's just like her standing there completely alone, singing like all of Big Mac's parts and what he was supposed to be singing. And she's just like rocking it out, going crazy with her deep, guy voice from Zakor. And everybody goes berserk. I mean, they absolutely love it. She gets so much applause, and everyone thinks it's the best thing ever. But for her, like, she's ridiculously shy. She has no clue what to do. She's so isolated from social interactions a vast majority of the time that when this happens to her, she is clueless on what to do. And so because of that, she like freaks out, goes and tries to like hide away and go, do the bottom of the stage and like hide in the corner. And she's so scared, and it's so sad. And she realizes that at that point she understands that she's got to like overcome this. It's a legitimate problem, and it's crippling her ability to do well in public. And so like Rarity comes by, she grips her in the hand, and they got to stand up. She makes her stand up. And this is why like it's so powerful. Like if you want to overcome your fears, if you want to overcome challenges and push through barriers that are holding you back, just do what you're afraid of. That's exactly what Fluttershy does here. She stands up, she embraces the crowd, and then she, walks off and has her day. And it's, baby steps, like a little bit at a time at her own pace, what she feels she deserves. But at that moment, she develops significantly more confidence in public appearances and public speaking than she had in like the many years prior. All because she just forced herself to get out of her comfort zone and move into this whole new environment where she had an amazing, amazing time doing it. And at the same time, she got in front of a ton of people and actually made an impact. And it fundamentally changed everything for all of them, which was just the best thing ever. And it all stems from her getting out of her comfort zone and doing it and having the best time ever and making a tremendous, tremendous musical product because of it. And it's just amazing, right? And that all came from her getting out there, doing it, taking a risk, taking that potion and making it happen. And after that happened, everybody thought it was amazing, right? Everyone was cheering. It's like it was the best thing that she could ever do. And because of that, she was motivated, she was pushed, and she was driven to go to that next level and to keep pursuing and to keep, trying to go hard with music, not necessarily for herself, but for the greater good of those around her. So that because she saw like all the happiness, that it created, right? And that happiness, it keeps growing and stemming and expanding, and it's just such a powerful state of being that she was able to create and that she's so proud of. That led to her success later on, which is super cool. So really, really awesome message from that one. Oh, and fun fact, so like Milli Vanilli was apparently like a German band, and like they lip synced all their concerts. So Milli Vanilli lip syncing for him, and then Milli Vanilli. I thought it was a funny joke. That's kind of cool. But yeah, I didn't know that, but then I knew that. Now you know that, which is kind of cool. Like the goal here, right, what to take away from this is like at one point or another, if you're doing something fake, or you're taking a shortcut, or you're lying. I mean, first of all, these are all terrible, terrible things. You never want to do any of these three. But if you are, right, if you see someone that is, at some point, this metaphorical curtain that separates, reality from the falsehoods, this curtain falls down. And as soon as this curtain falls down, everything is revealed to the audience and to the people that you're trying to fool or whoever you're manipulating or tricking or hurting. Because as soon as that curtain falls down, the reality is 10 times more important, and it's multiplied because people, they discovered it as a total and complete lie. And this falsehood destroys their faith and their belief in whatever is actually going on and crushes reputation. And just destroys your ability to ever move forth into a whole new light in any aspect of your life. So that's why, it's so important that you stay genuine and you stay real. And when you do have these talents, you have to overcome those fears at the beginning to build a solid foundation for your career and for your positioning and for your social being, so that as you start to grow, it's all based on truth. And there's no curtain to knock down. It's just reality. And that's going to create such a closer, more intimate, and better developed relationship than any kind of falsehood or crap like that could ever even hope to do. All right? Isn't that awesome? You guys get that? Is that cool? Sweet.